Come on. Are we live now?
Mm-hmm.
Was it live at any point?
Sure. Now you are.
We are now live, it says.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hello,
Right on. Okay, hi folks. My name's Trevor. I help run the JFR program. So I'm here with my coworker Lenora. We run the JFR program together, along with our other coworker Sandy, but she's going to join us next week. But yeah, we're going to go run through a presentation tonight about the JFR program, what it entails, what it takes to apply, and a bunch of different details about how the summer works, being a crew member in this program. So, about the JFR program. We have 5 main objectives in the program. If you folks are having trouble hearing us, or if something seems off, just let us know in the chat. But we'll do our best to manage through this situation. We are not tech professionals, but we'll muddle our way through this. So, so we're 5 main objectives in the JFR program. So these are in no particular order. So to develop career awareness and career skills. So we do that through our training. We do that through all the projects that we do. So it's a great stepping stone in a number of different directions, especially if you're interested in wildfire, forestry, fish and wildlife conservation, just different fields or different aspects of the environmental natural resource field. We also, our crew members also get to meet and connect with various professionals. So anybody from a wildfire ranger to a forest health officer, forester, all kinds of folks, fish and wildlife officers. So it's a great way to meet those folks and see how they got to where they are currently. All of the projects that our crews get to take part in, we want to make sure that it's meaningful project work, that they get to help out in their local communities. There's different really beneficial education projects. So every day is usually a different project. So we want to make sure that they get a little taste of everything. And they're not just doing the same project over and over again. The other great aspect of this program is because you're away from home for about 7 weeks, the personal growth, the leadership skills that you develop is pretty incredible. It's a really awesome aspect of this program, just being away from home for that period of time, learning about yourself and growing and gaining all these different skills. Indigenous culture, it's a really important aspect of our program. So learning from elders, from knowledge keepers, just learning about the different First Nations and Métis groups here in Alberta. Everything seemed okay? Yeah, right on. So the JFR program, this program's been running since 1965 and has continued on every year since. It's how we're structured is we're going to have 7 JFR crews this year. So on each crew, there's a total of 10 individuals. So there's 7 crew members, so 7 high school students, as well as a senior crew member. So that's a returning crew member from last year or the year before, and then a leader and a sub-leader. And so during parents and guardians and families and friends they lend us their son, daughter for the season, and it's our responsibility to look after all of these folks. So safety is it's the most important priority. It's top priority of our program. We take it very seriously. It's something that we also teach everybody in our program is different safety aspects and ways to be safe out in the field and during work projects. We also, us being under Alberta wildfire, we want to maintain and that our professionalism. We also teach that to our crew members and in ways to behave around in an office setting, out on a project site, making sure that we're respectful to all the people that are helping this program, all the people that we meet with out on site. So it's a great way to learn how to behave in a professional work environment. You're also working with the same crew all summer, so teamwork, team development. It's a really awesome and beneficial aspect of this program. Throughout this presentation, there's a bunch of pictures we just like to throw in to give you some insights into what different projects our crews get up to. So Yeah, it's just for some visual appeal. But if you have any questions at any time, feel free to reach out in the chat. Lenore's looking after the chat, and we'll happily answer any questions you might have. Yeah, a lot of our crews will get out to a cut block. That's the one picture here, and the other crew, the little video there is just them digging an outhouse hole, which our crews don't usually get to do, but that was a fun one that they had with that one. Our crew locations. So this summer we're going to have 7 different JFR crews. So this year we're going to utilize 7 of the 10 forest areas that make up Alberta wildfire. So this year we're going to have crews in Peace River, Grand Prairie, Fort McMurray, Lac-La-Biche, Whitecourt, that crew is located in the Fox Creek area. There's a crew in the Edson Forest area, and they stay in Hinton. And then the Calgary crew stays a little bit farther south near Blairmore. So all of these crews, they stay on a different wildfire base. Outside of the Hinton crew, they stay on their own little JFR camp. But the great thing about living on a wildfire base is you have access to a variety of things. So living on a fire base, you get your meals made for you, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You have access to a weight facility if you want to work out all summer. There's a rec room on all of these sites. So if your crew wants to watch a movie during the evenings, or some of them are equipped with pool tables or foosball, that sort of thing. You're also around the wildfire crews, so it's a great opportunity to interact with them. And if you're interested in wildfires, seeing what that job entails and working on the front lines of a fire, it's a great way to chat with those folks. Our crew leaders. So every crew is a leader and a sub-leader. These are post-secondary students or graduates, and these folks are the backbone of the JFR program. They're the ones that plan all the projects. They're the ones who are looking after everybody. So they have an extremely important job. They're also a mentor and a coach for all of the crew members. So these folks are trained well, and we have high expectations of what they do during the summer. Our leaders go through about 2 weeks of training at the Hinton Training Center. So the Hinton Training Center is also the place where all of our wildfire crews do all of their training. So HTC, it is equipped with 2 dorm facilities. Most of those dorm rooms are double occupancy. So while we're here training, most people are bunked up with somebody else. There's also a kitchen and dining facility where food's made for us while we're staying there. And there's also a big academic building, or essentially it's a school. So there's lots of different classrooms. The one picture there is a classroom you can see. But also there's office rooms in there, folks that the training specialists that work out of there. So HTC is a really great facility. It's a lovely place to do all of our training. There's also a big walking trail that encircles the whole campus. So it's really well equipped for what we require. All of our leaders, they go through all kinds of different training sessions, everything from first aid and emergency scenarios to hand tools, brush saw training, chainsaw training, learning how to use their equipment properly. We do some wildlife awareness, team development, conflict management, all kinds of stuff jam-packed into those two weeks or so. From training, all of our leaders, they head off to their forest areas once they're done training, and then they get to spend the month of June planning their calendar. So they're networking with different professionals to set up projects with them for their crew. So they design a whole calendar for their crew, so it's ready to go for the start of July. Come the first week of July, we have our senior crew member start. They start this year, I think, on July 2nd is when we're going to start those folks, and so they go through a few days of training before the crew members start. We do a variety of things with them, similar to leader training, but just not as thorough. But we definitely do a variety of things with them. So senior members, as I mentioned, they're crew members from last year or the year before, and looking to gain some more leadership skills. We give them a variety of different tasks to help the leaders out, but they're also just another mentor for the crew members, and somebody the members can talk to about their previous experience, and lean on them as the summer goes on. And then our crew members, so this is what most of you folks, I assume, are here to learn about. So our crew members need to be between 16 and 18 years old as of July 1st, and a full-time high school student here in Alberta. Our crew members, so they start this year on July 5th. So how that's going to work is that's a Sunday. So all the crew members are going to arrive the day before on July 4th. They get dropped off at HTC in the afternoon. and then we take them from there. So we go through about 5 days of training with them. And we do a variety of different things with them as well. So leadership, bushcraft, and survival skills. We do some wildfire stuff. We usually bring in some fish and wildlife officers or conservation officers to do some wildlife awareness. A number of different things we get up to. Hand tool training, brush saw training. It's a nice 5 days that we all spend together. And then once training is done, all of the crews pile into their work vehicles and drive off to their forest area for the summer. Questions? All good?
First will be what ages are you looking and rates?
Yeah, 16 to 18 years old and that's as of July 1st. So if you're 15 now but turning 16 before the summer, before July 5th technically, then you can apply this year. If you're turning 16 after that, then you'd have to wait till the following year to apply. You can be if you're in grade 12 graduating, that is totally fine. You can still apply this year. So it's typically grade 10 to 12. Sometimes we'll get a grade 9 student applies that still fits the 16-year-old, which is also acceptable.
And also sometimes a grade 12 that is 19.
Yeah, sometimes we'll get a grade 12 that's 19, and that's totally acceptable too. So, all good if you're turning 19 as well. Yeah, we go through their radio training. They get their ROC A, so that's their radio operator certificate. So that's a lifetime certificate, and then I'll get to a few other certifications that crew members can potentially get as the summer goes on. So as I said, once training is done, they pile in their work vehicles with all their stuff that they've brought, and then drive off to whatever forest area that they're stationed in. Each crew gets a pickup truck and an SUV that the leaders are the only ones who do all the driving during the summer. All of the projects that our crews get up to, we want to make sure that there's one of these different aspects, different components tied to it. So a lot of them usually have more than just one of these. So that's environmental stewardship, a leadership component. So that's giving the crew members an opportunity to develop their leadership skills in a number of different ways. And then traditional ecological knowledge. So that's again with the Indigenous component of our program. And then the P in the middle just stands for our partners. So every project that we do usually relies on another individual or another person in the government or another organization to help us run these different projects. So it takes a village to run this program, or many villages. This is just a giant list of some of the projects that our crews get up to. So on top of this, there is also different certifications that some crew members can earn. So some different options for certification. Some crews have done their ATV cert in the past, their PAL course or hunter's education. Some crews have done wilderness or remote first aid, or just their standard first aid in CPR has also been done before. Canoe or kayak is also an option. Different culture camps our crews get up to. Trail building, trail maintenance is a popular one that our crews do. Usually we try to get our leaders to do a 70-30 split. So 70% of the projects are more hands-on, physical, and then more 30% is more straight education based. But a lot of them are a combination of the two different styles. So some of our crews will get up to some fire smarting. So fire smarting projects in their area. Tree planting. So a lot of crews will do a day or two of tree planting and then get a tour of a mill and a cut block to see that whole operation. A lot of crews will help out in their local communities. So different community-based projects, removal of invasive species, visiting with a forest health officer, learning about different pests and diseases that can impact a forest. Meeting up with a fish and wildlife officer to learn about their jobs, showing off some different tools, bear traps, and different aspects of their job. I know the Peace River crew sometimes goes out with the fish and wildlife officers out on boats out on the Peace River. So yeah, every day is a different project, and the skills that you gain and the people that you meet, it's pretty outstanding. We try to teach you different tool skills, hand tools, brush saw. A lot of crews will go onto a wildfire. Not on the front lines. There's stipulations around being on a wildfire, so it's usually either a mock fire is put on for them, or they will go to a fire and where it's already been burned over, and they're there to put out hot spots. They will always be supervised with senior staff out on the wildfire. Some crews get a helicopter ride during the summer. I think the majority of them got a ride last year. learn about a pilot and what their job is during the summer. Some crews will get a ride out to a wildfire. So yeah, it's a perk of being in wildfire and access to helicopters. Yeah, every day is something unique. So this is just an example of getting up in a helicopter, talking to a pilot, all the safety regulations around that, even just getting in and out of a helicopter, how to pack the equipment. This at the bottom there is an ATV course that was put on for a crew. This is visiting out on a cut block, learning to smoke fish at an indigenous culture camp, and these folks down in the bottom right corner there, out on a rig, out on a fire, playing around in those vehicles, having some fun with them. The top picture there is the Calgary crew. They're out on a kayak course, doing their swift water course, I believe, and then there's it's a Rocky Mountain House crew at a fish hatchery. And then our high level crew on the right hand side there is seeing a bucket being dropped from a helicopter.
Do you get to choose where you are stationed?
Do you get to choose? So on your, pardon?
Do you get to choose your location?
Yeah. So on your, that's the other thing. I apologize, folks. There's a location document that I meant to finish up. I'll get that up tomorrow. But there is a location document that will be on our website that gives you a little bit of insight into each area. But what makes them unique? Not every project that I mentioned is feasible in every area. I mean, if you want to do wildfire projects, the farther north you go generally means the more wildfire options that you might have. Wildlife stuff can be a different basis too. So it just depends on the area that you go to. But on your application, there's 3 different spots where you put your top 3 locations. So we definitely take that into consideration when we're selecting, when we're placing students. But I'll get more into that. But we definitely try to get you one of your top 3 spots based on your application. So some key dates from this summer. So leader training is going to start May 14th. And they spend the month of June planning. Our crew members or LITs are starting on July 2nd this year. Oh, I've got to update some dates here. Sorry, folks. Member training is actually going to be July 5th to 10th. So this is just last year's schedule I see. So July 5th to 10th are the actual current dates. And then the project period runs up until the August long weekend. So that August long weekend this year, or every year, everybody goes home for that weekend. So a couple of things to note for parents is dropping your child off in Hinton is one thing, and then all of them getting picked up. Oh, look at updated in real time. So parents also have to pick up, or somebody has to pick up your crew member from their fire base for the August long weekend. So everybody's off for that weekend. Leaders are off. So we want to make sure that everybody gets a little break, can visit with family. It's a nice little break for everybody to have for that August long weekend. And then all the crew members return. So they leave on that Friday afternoon and then return back on the Tuesday afternoon, possibly the Monday evening, depending on what the leaders are up to. And then after the August long weekend is the last couple of weeks of projects. So you have up until the following Friday to take part in all the projects. And then our summer end event called Bull of the Woods takes place this year on August 18th and 19th. A typical day from Monday to Friday, usually you're waking up around 6:30, 7 a.m. Breakfast, because there's a window for each meal time. So window for breakfast is usually 7 to 8 in the morning. And the great thing about that is the better relationship you make with your cooks, the more likely they'll make eggs the way you want them, make breakfast a certain way for you. So our kitchen staff are great and very accommodating that way. So have breakfast on base, and pack your bag lunch for the day usually, and then you're going to leave your fire base on by 8:15 in the morning. So as long as you're ready to go for 8:15, you've had breakfast, pack your lunch, wake up time is sort of up to you. Some crews like to do morning fitness, but that's sort of up to the crew and the leaders how they want to plan that. And then you drive to your project site. So your project site might be on your fire base, it might be 5-10 minutes down the road, or it might be an hour and a half away. Just depends on where that project is for the day. When you get to your site, you do a safety briefing, you learn more about that project, You get all your tools ready for the day, you meet your project partner, and then you get to take part in that project for the day, have lunch on site, finish up the project in the afternoon, and then drive back to your fire base for 4:30. Typically, some projects might be more than a day, so you might be camping out for a night or two on a different site, a different fire base, or just camping out in a provincial park somewhere, so that you can reduce that drive time if it's a little bit farther away and you're doing the same project for a couple of days, or at least on the same project site for a couple of days. And then in the evenings, the crew members, so you get paid 8:15 to 4:30, or your working hours. So during the evenings, our crew members, there's a variety of things that they get up to. Sometimes it's just everybody's bagged for the day. They're exhausted, and they just want to relax. They want to chill for the evening. So they just want to read or spend some time together around a campfire, watch a movie, that sort of thing. Other times, leaders or senior members might have something planned for the evening. So whether that's an evening activity, practicing for Bull of the Woods. I'll get into more Bull of the Woods stuff soon, but sometimes crews like to venture off on a hike in the evening or work out. It's up to sort of the crew and the leaders what if they have anything planned for the night. Sometimes there's some chores to do, cleaning up, making sure your dorms or your facilities are cleaned up, your rooms, getting the tools and stuff ready for the following day. The vehicles are all packed, ready to go. So, and making sure that everybody has the right personal protective PPE for the day and are ready to go. And usually living on site with the wildfire crews, typically camps are quiet around 10 o'clock. We want to make sure that you folks are getting enough sleep, that everybody on base is getting enough sleep and ready to go for their project, and not too tired throughout the day. This is just an example of some different fire bases. So in the top left corner there, that's the Rocky Mountain House crew. That's their location. All of those crew members stay in cabins, A-frame cabins. I know the Grand Prairie crew is similar to these. And then the rest of the fire bases are either in cabins or what you see in the top right corner is the Fort McMurray Fire Base. So it's definitely in that bottom right picture. That's sort of a typical room in some of those places. Some of you will be in your own room. Some of you will be double occupancy for the summer. So it just depends on what base that you're on.
Fox Creek has a four.
Oh, Fox Creek has so the White Cord crew, there's 4 people in a cabin. So 2 cabins for them. Will be 4 and 3. So. And and the Hinton crew, so they stay up in their own sort of JFR cab or camp. Those are log cabins. So there's a number of different cabins on site. It's up to the leaders in the area where they want them staying, but that one's a little bit unique in the sense that it's just the JFR crew up there. They're not on site with wildfire crews, but for them, there's still other opportunities to join up with wildfire crews during the season. So there's definitely opportunities for them to meet with those folks at different points during the summer.
Do the locations have Wi-Fi?
So Wi-Fi reception on bases is variable. So some of them have pretty good reception, have good Wi-Fi. Others not so much. We want crew members to bring a cell phone or a way to communicate with friends and family back home. Tell them about your summer. Folks get homesick, so we want people to be able to talk to their loved ones and be able to help them get through their summer if being away from home is a bit more challenging for them. So Wi-Fi and reception can be a bit challenging at times, but honestly it's a good thing. Just taking a bit of a break from technology for the summer.
Fire bases have rec room, gym.
I think I mentioned that. But
in the paper.
On the fire bases, they all have a rec room, a weight room. So if you wanted to relax in a rec room and watch a movie, or if you wanted to work out, those facilities are on site. Those showers and bathrooms, they all are equipped with that. So laundry facilities. So, yeah.
What size are the beds?
What size are the beds? I think they're all twin, so single beds. But some nights you'd be in a tent though, camping. So sleeping bags and sleeping pads to help out with that. This is just an example of a week and how that would work. So I'll get to the weekends in a second here, but this could be a week for one crew. So and most projects are for the full day. or multiple days, but there are some projects out there that maybe it's just a half day. So you on one site for the morning and then you move to a different site for the afternoon. So yeah, this is just a typical schedule that you might see for the week. Supper is usually between. It's a variety. Working with being on site with the wildfire crews can make this time change, this window. So it's usually between 6 and 8, 5 and 7, somewhere around there. So it's usually a good window that crews can go and grab their dinner for the night. And everybody has access to the kitchens 24/7. So if you're hungry at 9:30 at night and you're free to go in and grab a snack. There's usually some leftovers or sandwiches from lunch. So yeah, definitely things you can grab in the evenings. Yeah, this is just an example of some crews getting out on a hotspot and dealing with some small flames or some areas that are still smoking. And then the bottom picture, there's a crew that's visiting an air tanker base and seeing the different aircrafts that are on site. If you're in an area that there's a busy wildfire season going on, then yeah, more likely there's some aircrafts in your area where your leaders can plan to go visit those, and you get to check out the aircrafts and learn about them. The water bombers and the bird dogs, yeah, it's pretty neat to see those. Some of the crews visit their local firefighters. So if firefighting is something that you want to go see, structural firefighters, so if that's something that you're potentially interested in and maybe you want to go the wildfire route and then potentially go into structural firefighting, some of our crews meet up with these folks in their local communities and they put on some awesome projects for them, and it's a great way to spend a day with these folks. Some of our crews in the past have done their chainsaw course. It's a day course, so that's what the bottom left picture is. And then the bottom right picture there, that's a crew that visited a local ranch. Yeah, most of our crews will do a culture camp. So this is a crew that visited the Rocky Mountain Historic Site. They made some ribbon skirts. They participated in a sweat, spoke with some elders. Yeah, played some traditional games. So some crews will be out for more than a day, visiting a local First Nations or Métis group, and sometimes they'll help out on those in those communities, or just simply an educational day for them. So definitely some crews have set up teepees and done some other awesome things with those folks around the province. Weekends. So you're not paid on the weekends, but you get up to some fun stuff. So you'll typically go do a variety of things. So you might go camping for the weekend. You might go fishing. So a lot of crews like to go fishing at some point during the weekend. Some crews like to go visit their nearest town or city, to go visit a local rec center. This crew visited an escape room. Some crews will go to a local animal shelter and walk some dogs or hang out with some cats for a few hours. And some crews will join in on a local parade and promote the JFR program and wildfire, hand out some candy and some other things. Yeah, weekends are generally pretty fun. Hanging out with your crew, you might practice Bull of the Woods. Yeah, go for a big hike on the weekend. It's you're hanging out with your crew, having fun on the weekends.
Airsoft, paintball.
Yeah, airsoft. Some crews will go airsoft, paintball, whitewater rafting. Some crews will do a project for one of those companies and then get to do that for free. So a variety of things that our crews get up to on the weekend.
Powwows.
Powwows. Yeah, our crew last year, the Lac-La-Biche crew did like a mud derby. They were covered in head to toe in mud. It looked like they had a great time. Yeah, there's all kinds of different events potentially that our crews volunteer at too. So yeah, weekends are always a good time.
If we go fishing, do we have to bring our own rods?
Do you have to bring your own rods? I would. So the great thing about having your leader start earlier than you folks is that these are some questions you can ask them before the summer starts. They might know if there's some extra fishing rods on base or in their local warehouse that they can snag, or sometimes they have JFR storage on site from previous years and there might be some extra fishing rods. I don't know if I would trust the quality of those, to be honest, but if you don't have your own fishing rod and you're just looking to try it out, most likely there might be something on base that you can use. But this is a great thing you can ask your leaders before you arrive. And then so that is basically the whole summer outside of our final event called Bull of the Woods. So Bull of the Woods it's a 2-day event. So crews arrive on the Monday, and then so they arrive and just set up their tents, and then we're just hanging out for the night. But so Tuesday is a big Indigenous culture day. So we invite some dancers and drummers out. We'll set up teepee. We'll make bannock. We usually do some crafts. All our crews will join in on some dancing. They'll potentially talk to some elders or do some storytelling. We've done medicinal plant walks in the past. We played hand games. We've done last year we did a trap event. So definitely this day is usually pretty relaxed, pretty chill, and we can just sit and enjoy what's going on for that day. And then the next day is a big competition between all the crews. So on this day, parents, siblings, grandparents are invited out to this event to see what's going on. So they compete in about 5 or 6 different events. So things like fire lighting. There's a trivia challenge. There's a Master Chef event where they're given a bunch of camp equipment and given a bunch of mystery ingredients. Each crew has different ingredients that they're given and have to make a dish for a panel of judges. There's a big relay race and a couple other ones. There's a leader event and a couple other events that we've rotated in and out of Bull of the Woods. So yeah, parents, siblings are invited to this event, and they can watch the festivities for the day and enjoy the crews competing against one another. It's an awesome way to conclude the summer. We also have 2 contests that happen throughout the day. So there's a photo contest and a bushcraft contest. So that's what you see on the left-hand side here from the past couple of years. Crews have to make something out of all natural materials using only hand tools, and there's usually a theme, and they bring that to Bull of the Woods, and then people vote on that. Same thing with the photo contest. We print those pictures out, we line them up, and then parents and siblings and folks can vote on those, and ultimately there's a winner at the end of the day. This is our trophy for Bull of the Woods on the right there, which is brand new this year, and so yeah, this year we'll present that to the winners of Bull of the Woods. This is just a couple of pictures of some of the events. So you see the Master Chef in the corner there, bottom corner, fire lighting, and then our relay race on the top there. So us being with Alberta Wildfire under the government, you have to apply through the Government of Alberta's job board, which can be a little bit tricky for folks, but we're here to help if you ever run into some issues. So you log on to the GOA's job board, and then you have to create a profile. So typically you'll just need an email address and a password, and put your first name and last name, I think is all it typically requires, and maybe a phone number. And then once you create that account, then you're able to apply to any job on the job board. And you'll find the JFR crew member job posting is up currently, and the deadline to apply is April 1st. So as part of our application, there's a couple things to note. So we require a resume, and on your resume, just list as much as you can. Put your education there, what school you go to, put any previous volunteer work, or if you have a current job, any sports or groups that you're part of, hobby groups, anything like that promotes that you can work as part of a team. Always want to see that on your resume. And then we require a cover letter. However, it's using our JFR template that we have. So I think there's 7 different questions outlined on that cover letter template that is pointed questions for you folks. And then the next couple things, you have to do a fitness test. So the fitness test is you have to wear a backpack or a weight vest that weighs 25 pounds, and you have to walk 3.2 kilometers or 2 miles in 30 minutes or less. So walking that, not running, walking that in 30 minutes or less, and having somebody time you and then sign off on those documents, and then submitting that as part of your application. And then the last thing is getting 2 reference letters submitted along with your application. And then you submit all of that through the job board, and then we go from there. So if you submit all of those things, then you get an interview. And in the interviews will start this year. I think the end of the first week of April is when we try to get started on those, and they usually last 2 or 3 weeks, because it's about a team of 10 of us that do all of those interviews, and we try to get through those as quickly as possible. So on our website, albertajfr.ca, under applications, there is this document that you can see here. It's called the Member Application Guide. In there, it outlines all of the steps to apply if you're having any issues. There's also a link to the cover letter template there, as well as the fitness test. documents that you require to fill out before you start your fitness test, and then where you put your time in and get that signed off.
How competitive it is? How many people?
Yeah, typically, so how competitive it is, I would say I've been doing this job for 10 years now, and it has ranged from 130 to 200. So over the last few years, it's been around 150 applicants. And I think last year we conducted about 130, 140 interviews, somewhere around there. And we're going to take 49 this year. We typically get more male applicants than female applicants, which is why most likely, this I'm just speaking into what I've seen over the last decade. So our assumption this year is that we'll most likely have 4 male crews and 3 female crews. Yes, we divide them up by gender. Yeah. Any other questions? Feel free to fire away to Lenora. What we're looking for on your resume, as I mentioned, like part of a team, any leadership experience that you have. If you have a job, if you've done volunteer work, play lots of sports. We want to make sure you're comfortable working outside. So if you have camping experience or just like some of your hobbies, if they're outside. So just showcasing your skills and talents and why you want to be part of this program. I recommend if you do want to apply, look more into it. There's all kinds of videos. So every week, our crews have done a video blog for the last, 8-9 years. So those are all up on our YouTube page. If you want to go check out some of those video blogs from past years, those also give you a good idea of, they're outlined by playlist for areas too. So if you're thinking of a few different areas, go watch some of those videos, and you might get a good idea of what some of those crews have been up to in the past. If you're interested in a career in the outdoors, this is an awesome stepping stone. It's a great starting point. But also, if you don't really know what you want to do, this is also a good starting point as well. So we definitely want to take students who think they're interested in this sort of career, but we also know that you're high school students and you might not have a clue what you want to do after high school. So this is a great way to test out if you think a career in the outdoors or natural resource, wildfire, forestry, conservation is the right fit for you.
So we do have some questions. Can I be in the same crew as one of my friends?
Can you be on the same crew as one of your friends? So typically we do try to split you up, those of you who are friends and go to the same school. And the reason for that is we don't want cliques forming, we don't want groups forming within their crews. We want everybody to have sort of the same experience. And so we try to split folks up. However, if there's a reason to try and convince us otherwise, you can always try. But typically we've split folks up from the same school or friends and given them different experiences. And a lot of our crews will join up with other crews, so there's a chance you might see them. You'd be at training together for sure, and then again at Bull of the Woods. And it's honestly just an awesome way to meet friends, new friends. Some of the folks that have gone. A lot of the people that go through this program still talk to have made lifelong friends, it's a small community, and so it's a great way to meet people and become friends for the rest of your life, or at least years after this program ends.
Do the crews mix during the summer?
Yes, our crews will join up together for sure, and they might go camping together. One crew might go live on another or stay at a fire base for a day or two. There's definitely opportunities to go meet up with other crews during the summer. Just depends on the project. Also depends on how close you are to another forest area, to another crew, I should say. There's definitely been projects every year where crews get together.
Soapy Salad asks, what's the dress code?
Yeah, great question. So we're given all of these pictures, right? Like you can see everybody in their coveralls. Our leaders and senior members get the 2-piece, so the yellow shirts and the green pants. So that's what you're expected to wear on a work site. However, if it's more education-based, say you're getting a tour like a fish hatchery, you might not wear your coveralls, but you would wear either the wildfire t-shirts we give you or a JFR shirt that we provide you. So those are expectations, and just nice pants to go along with it. So maintaining that level of professionalism for something like that. some of our crews will go to their local office. They'll get a tour usually at the start of the summer to visit the dispatch room, to see the weather room, to see the whole operation within that forest office or wildfire office, and see how things work in there. So if you go to an office, same thing as like a tour, where our expectation is you're wearing that. You wouldn't wear your coveralls inside of an office. That's sort of a no-no in certain areas. So you'd want to just wear nice pants and a t-shirt, or we often give everybody hoodies or jackets or shirts of some kind. So that's also acceptable to wear. And then sort of on your off time, it's up to you. What you want to wear.
Marisol Rao 8720 asks, what about medical accommodations?
Medical accommodations. I mean, we can definitely accommodate certain things, for sure. But it does depend on what that is. So hard to say yes or no, not knowing exactly what's going on. But we're definitely as inclusive as we can be with how our program operates, right? So we've had folks who've had a variety of different things going on, and we do our best to accommodate that for sure.
We usually have people with allergies.
Yeah, allergies for sure is a big one. We've had folks who definitely have some serious allergies come out to the program, and that's just a matter of making sure your leaders know exactly what's going on, what allergies you have, dietary restrictions. So our cooks on site, our leaders, if you do have dietary restrictions, our leaders definitely talk to our cooks and let them know, hey, this person is celiac or is gluten free or whatever it might be, or is allergic to peanuts, whatever it is. So shellfish. So we've definitely had, every year we have somebody with allergies in something that we work with. And if you have an EpiPen pen, we want you to bring 3 of those along with you. We take, safety is a huge, as I said, safety is paramount. So our leaders are well equipped. The great thing about being in wildfire is access to helicopters and other staff that are on site or nearby that could come and help out at a moment's notice. So having radios, our crews are equipped with satellite devices, cell phones, to get in touch with a duty officer. So that's somebody in the local forestry office that has access to emergency equipment and emergency personnel and can send people anywhere. So it's something that is a huge benefit of being in fire. But yeah, I mean, if you have feel free to send us an email if you're looking for specifics. That's how the best way to go about it.
Well, you mentioned this a little bit, but Reese Norton 1484 asked, different meals for people with allergies.
Yeah, it's for sure. We can. Our cooks do a really good job at sort of working with somebody with allergies. I can't remember. I don't think it's happened that we've turned somebody away because of an allergy. But I would say if you definitely have some concerns, that's a reason why we don't want somebody to not be in the program because of that. We want to work through it. And so we're definitely, our cooks on site are more than happy to accommodate things. And they're gluten-free folks. A couple of years ago, somebody was celiac, so we bought a toaster specifically for them that they only had access to. So we're willing to work with you folks if we want to hire you.
Rayleigh Gaming asks, does everyone who applies gets an interview?
If you submit a full application, you get an interview. So you got to make sure you submit that full application: the resume, cover letter, fitness test, and then 2 references. So 4 parts of your application have to be submitted by 11:59 p.m. on April 1st.
River Lawrence asks, what are some things I can do to increase the likelihood that I get this opportunity?
Yeah, look into the program as much as possible. Do your homework. That goes for any job that you're applying to. But yeah, what we're looking for is that you know what you're applying to. Some people just put their resume in and don't have a clue what this program is. So it's great that you're here listening to this, but dig in a bit more. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Lenore and I or Sandy will happily answer your questions. Feel free to send us an email to the JFR account there. But also, yeah, if you don't have any volunteer work experience, go start now. Sign up look for something you can join up now. There's still some time. We want to know that you can work as part of a team. So highlight your sports experience. Highlight if you're part of cadets, or if you play Dungeons and Dragons with a group of students at school. It's anything along those lines that can showcase your talents and skills working as part of a team. If you're dead set on, I want a career in the outdoors, I want a career in forestry, I want a career as a fish and wildlife officer, or I want to be a master bird bander or something along those lines, tell us that in your cover letter. There's some pointed questions in there. So the more you put in your cover letter, the better it is for us. We want to know who you're hiring. Interviews, they're not great. Like, ideally, we could just bring everybody to like a 3-day convention and then select people based on that. But that's not reality. So your interviews are important. So I recommend practicing them. Throw it into ChatGPT of what questions we might possibly ask, and practice interviews. If you've never had an interview before, sit down with your siblings, sit down with your parents or a teacher or a friend, somebody that you can trust, and run an interview. Do a practice interview. They are nerve-wracking especially if you've never done an interview before. So practicing those interview skills. We're going to ask some questions about a variety of different topics in those interviews. So make sure everything from safety to teamwork, conflict management, any of those things are on the table, right? So the more you practice that skill, it's a good skill to have, because it definitely helps you get this job. And if you know anybody who's done the program before, reach out to them, get some advice from them. But again, reach out to us. We're happy to answer any questions you have.
Yeah, we have the application guide too.
Yeah, there's the application guide in there. Lenore's done a great job with that, and it gives you some really good advice and step by step how to get through the application process.
Right again, does everyone who applies gets an interview?
So if you submit a full application, you get an interview. Unless I will put an asterisk beside that. Like, I think that if for some reason we got 300 applicants and 250 then put a full application in, there's just simply not enough time to get through all those interviews. So we would have to sort of knock some people out based on just their application alone. So, but that hasn't happened. So
yet,
yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah, but the most important things will be your cover letter, your references, and practice interview.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, cover letter. If you didn't hear, cover letter, resume, practice interviews. Also, highlight your outdoor experiences. If you're an avid hiker, if you go camping a ton, if you have outdoor skills, highlight those for sure.
And if you don't have much, just highlight that you want to learn and you want to do more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't
lie.
Yeah.
Or use AI to do your cover letter.
Don't use AI. Like, we want to hire you. It's pretty easy to tell when somebody's using AI. So don't use AI for your cover letter. Write it out yourselves. Also, in your interview, don't have a parent or somebody there with you in the room. That makes things more nerve-wracking. We will ask them to leave also. So also for your interview, dress accordingly. Don't show up in like a ratty T-shirt and a toque, and it matters. It matters how you show up, right, to your interview. So we put our heart and soul into this program, and we want to hire people that want to be part of it. So put the extra effort into. I'm not saying wear a suit or a tuxedo, but yeah, dress accordingly, dress appropriately. Business casual, I would say, is how I would define it. But that's for any interview that you go to, even if it's virtual. Our interviews are all virtual, so even if it's virtual, care about what's behind you on camera. These are just some tips to help you out.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple of questions about locations again. We did talk a little bit about it.
Just like where.
How do you assign us to our areas, and mostly like that. But we do mention that we try to do the best as we can to keep your location preferences. But it could be that sometimes your location preference, the ones that you put on your application, if you're a female, and you could put all male locations for the season, and stuff like that. So yeah, we try to do our best in that regard.
So yeah, in the event that, so what we try to do, so I will tell you this right now, so you folks get the inside scoop being here. So most likely, unless things change right now, the male locations are going to be Hinton, Peace River, Lac La Biche, and Whitecourt. And then the female crews are going to be GP, Fort Mac, and Calgary. So that's most likely the scenario, but we're still sort of finalizing that with the areas to make sure they're all good with it. But we definitely look at those at your top 3 locations, and then how members are placed on crews is. During leader training, our leaders are the ones who pick who is on their crew. So it's a democratic process. What we do is we give all the leaders the members' application documents, and we sit there for an entire afternoon. We divide the male crew leaders and then the female crew, their leaders, into 2 different rooms, and then they have a discussion about who they think would best be a good fit on their crew based on the projects that they have planned, based on the crew members' interests and their top 3 locations that they put down. Also, proximity to your house. So we try to get you in like a 2 to 4 hour range away from home, just to give you just a different experience. We try not to throw you too far away from home. So if you live maybe down south in Calgary, we wouldn't put you on the Peace River crew unless you requested it and your parents were okay with it, because they are most likely the ones coming to pick you up on August long weekend and drop you back off. So just be mindful of that when you're applying. We try to get you a little bit away from home, but not so far that it's a nightmare for parents to pick you up.
But we also, we try to, if you are far away, that your leaders will try to arrange also carpooling. That way parents don't have to all drive.
Yeah, we can definitely help out and help folks arrange that. We don't want driving to be the reason why somebody isn't a part of our program. So we will do whatever we can to try and help folks out to get a ride up to training. And then on the August long weekend, sometimes crew members will join up with another family, and then somebody who lives either in the same city or is on the way, and they can drop you off and pick you back up. Maybe just give them some gas money. We just to mention, I mean, we're an inclusive program, and those folks who identify as non-binary, we will work with anybody and do our best to make sure that everybody's comfortable on the crew, and the locations that you want to go.
Will L7 said 6J and River Lawrence and Hannah W 9244, they ask about, can I drive myself?
Yeah. So.
And what happens, or where do you leave your vehicle?
You can drive yourself. We honestly we discourage it to a certain degree, because you're not allowed to use your vehicle during the season. So that's just a policy that we have, because driving is probably the biggest risk in this program. So you folks would be a really young driver, and the last thing we would want is something to happen in your own personal vehicle while you're with us. So if you do drive your own vehicle, what would happen is you would drive that to training, leave it at HTC during training, and then you would drive your vehicle, follow the leaders to your fire base, and then park your vehicle during the summer. It would stay there. I would recommend turning it on every so often, but you wouldn't be allowed to drive it during the season outside of leaving on the August long weekend and coming back. And then what you would do is you drive that to Bull of the Woods. So Bull of the Woods takes place in a place called Nojack. So it's sort of dead set in the middle between Edmonton and Edson. and right on the yellowhead there. So you would drive your personal vehicle to Below the Woods and then park it there, and then take off when we're done on that final competition day. We usually finish up around 3 o'clock or so, and everybody packs up their stuff on that afternoon and takes off after our little awards closing ceremony.
And also we don't pay for your gas if you're driving your...
Yeah, if you choose to drive your own vehicle, yeah, we don't cover your fuel. That's on your own for that one.
Todd REA H2S asks, how is the fitness test submitted?
Yeah, so your fitness test, that document is, so there's I'll say there's two parts of that fitness test. So there's what's called a PAR-Q, is essentially just a way to, it's just a series of questions to make sure you're physically fit to do a fitness test. The government is asking you to do a fitness test, so that's just their way of covering off, making sure that you're physically fit to do this fitness test. And then there's an actual fitness test form that has just your where you sign it, and then your time to put in there. So you write that down, and then just submit that paperwork along with the rest of your application. On the actual application page where you apply on the job board, when you're applying, you'll see 3 different things. You'll see resume, cover letter, and then additional or supporting documents, I think is what it says. And so you can upload your resume and then your cover letter into those specific spots, and then the fitness test and references can go under your supporting documents on as part of your application.
For August 1, so Marisol Rao 8720 asks, for August long weekend, if we don't have the ability to visit family, are we able to stay on base still?
Yeah, staying on base still is sort of the last resort. We ideally don't want folks to do that. Now, if you're over 18, then if you're 18, then it changes slightly. But if we try not to have that happen, because nobody's there to look after you. So again, safety being paramount, we want to make sure that everything's okay. If we get parents' approval for that and the area is okay with it, sometimes the area might not sign off on it and might not be okay with it. So, but if the area is okay with it and parents are okay with it, that's potentially an option. But that's something that we would discuss sort of as the summer gets going.
River Lawrence asks, what type of gear do you need? We do have a equipment list on our website.
Yeah, there's an equipment list on our website. So the only thing that technically you require are the right clothing to come here.
Steel-toe boots.
Yeah, and steel-toe boots. So this is sort of the only cost associated with the program. We cover pretty much everything else, food, accommodations, other PPE. So steel-toe boots, clothing, rain gear, and then sleeping. So a sleeping bag, or if you want to, like, you could see the pictures in there. So you have a bed, right? So, but there is a chance you're camping. Not every crew will go camping, but most do. So, I encourage you to bring a sleeping bag, pillow, sleeping pad. On the list on our website, it does break it down to sort of what you need to bring, and then sort of things that are optional. So it's have a look at that on our website, and it gives you a good idea of what you would need to bring.
Sophie Salad asks, what are we not allowed to bring with us?
What are you not allowed to bring? Weapons, firearms of any kind. I mean, yeah, that's a tough question to answer.
Your dog?
Yeah, no pets on site, unfortunately. Another random individual, I don't know. So, like, if it's something that's not on that list, if you're offered a position, if you're offered a position, we give you a big offer package and has all kinds of documents in there, and there's an equipment list that we throw the equipment list in there too. But if there's something on that list that you're like, oh, I want to bring this, just ask us or ask your leaders, and we will tell you if that's acceptable or not. We do provide you with a knife. So we do our bushcraft and survival skills day during member training, and we have some really outstanding folks that do that training, and so they go over very strictly knife safety and etiquette and using that. So they're smaller Mora knives and they'll show you how to use that out in the bush properly. So there is no need to bring your own, but we do provide you with one.
The James Rennie asks exactly or very similar to that. Are we allowed to bring something like wood carving knives?
Yeah, for sure. I would have no issue if that's a hobby that you have or want to work on during the summer. Heck yeah.
I'd be mindful of how much luggage you're bringing with you.
Yeah, there's only so much room in our vehicles, so
in your rooms.
And in your rooms, and so you got to be mindful of what you want to bring. I mean, there's always the mountain bikes come up sometimes, so that can be tricky. Just the amount of if everybody on a crew bought a mountain bike, there's no way it would all fit. Yeah, that can be a challenge to bring a bike. Yeah, just be mindful of what would fit in a vehicle.
Providing some Instagram questions. I'm going away for a week vacation during the summer. Can I still apply?
Yeah, if you have planned vacation, it can determine if you're going to get hired or not. So typically, if you have a week-long vacation planned for the summer, we wouldn't be offering you a position. So that would go to somebody else who can make the full commitment. This is only a 7-week program, so if you're looking to take time off during the summer, we most likely wouldn't be offering you a position. So you got to make the full commitment for the season. But if you're only 16 or if you're in grade 10, there's multiple years to apply. This program has been around for 61 years, so it's not going anywhere. Knock on wood.
Other Instagram questions. Can we have visitors at base?
Can you have visitors on base? Most likely not, but it would be area dependent and sort of situational. So typically if a parent was maybe driving through your area and wanted to take you out for dinner or something, maybe that's an option. But no, there's not really visitors allowed on site. If that is something that does come up, that would be a question for your leaders. Then they would just check with the area to double check how they feel about that. When you go pick up your child on base, they'll usually get a tour of the base, and they'll show you their rooms and sort of give you a lay of the land when you get there.
Really getting asked, on the government job board, do we have to fill in the professional memberships and designations category?
Is that like your education?
Like
No, don't waste your time filling that stuff out.
It has to be in your resume.
Yeah,
we care about your resume cover letter.
To be honest, I don't even look at that. So don't waste your time filling all the extra stuff out on the application. Like when you're applying, you'll see like your education, your work experience, all of that stuff is there's nothing worse than submitting in a job application than having to double that up and write it all out all again. So please don't waste your time doing that. But that's just for us. So I can't, if you're applying to other jobs in the government, I can't say that they accept that. So that's your call. But no, for us, you do not have to fill all that extra information out. We just want those 4 separate things: the resume, cover letter, fitness test documents, and then 2 reference letters. And not reference letters from a parent. Get somebody like a teacher or a coach, or somebody volunteer person that's running a program. So anything along those lines is what we're looking for.
An email question was. Anyways, another question. Will L7Z6J ask, are there any job opportunities after the summer has ended for those who are graduating high school?
Unfortunately not. So if you could not hear, so is there any job opportunities after the summer for anybody that's graduated high school? Not with the JFR program. So we are done August 19th for all the crew members, leaders, and senior members, and on the 21st this year. But nothing available full time with us afterwards, or even extended. It's not going to happen. But I will tell you that the government, specifically wildfire and Alberta Parks, and then also industry folks. So I just had a phone call last week with somebody from West Fraser about, or it was yesterday. No, it was yesterday. About this, and that if they see JFR on a resume, that person is most likely going to get an interview. And so they JFR crew members are highly sought after in the forest and wildfire industry. If you have JFR and want to go into wildfire, also a huge bonus, huge advantage over anybody that's applying to wildfire that didn't go through the JFR program. So it's an awesome thing to have on your resume if you're looking to get a career in this area. So great stepping stone. Unfortunately, we don't have anything full time afterwards. So
unless they want your job.
Unless you want my job. Yeah.
Another Instagram question: do I get high school credits or work experience?
Yeah. You can obtain up to 10 work experience credits if you work 250 hours. So you get one credit is equivalent to 25 hours. So you can it is usually right around that 250 mark, 250 hours through the whole summer. So you can possibly earn work experience credits for that. It is a little bit tricky sometimes, so you do have to complete HCS 3000 safety course before you come this summer. You do have to talk to a teacher or a career counselor to help you get some documents ready to go and submitted. And then it's a matter of doing a site visit, so they can just happen virtually now. The other folks that can help out with this is Careers Next Generation. So anybody that applies to our program that gets in, we submit your information, your contact info to Careers Next Generation, and they will reach out to you to see if you need help with getting those credits. So shout out to those folks for being outstanding. So there's an option to get some credits.
Soppy Salad asks, can I bring some of my own food and drinks?
You can bring your own food and drinks for sure. I wouldn't be keeping it in my room, mice reasons and wildlife. So, but yeah, you can also purchase things in your area. I mean, you're going to make some money during the summer, so you can potentially buy some things during the summer if you want. But honestly, the kitchen has a ton of food. But if this is more of a dietary thing, that's something that we can potentially help out with. So. If you're limited to what you can eat on a fire base, we would definitely potentially help out with some extra snacks for you.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the crews will go and do a snack runs and go to the grocery store or go to McDonald's and Starbucks and get
ice cream.
Yeah,
ice cream's a big one.
Hot dog person asks, what is the pay?
Sorry, I don't know if I mentioned that. It's $16 an hour is what you get paid. So Monday to Friday, 8:15 to 4:30 with an hour lunch. You're free to calculate how much you make based on your age and taxes, that sort of thing.
Lisa6610 asks, how often do you get paid?
How often you get paid? Every 2 weeks. However, I will say that government and things are slow, right? So your first paycheck will guarantee you it will take longer than 2 weeks.
You gotta submit all of your forms on time.
Yeah. So if we offer you a position, we will send you a bunch of forms to fill out, but there's also an online part of that. So your offer letter will come through in an email, and there's some steps to follow. And if you don't follow those steps properly and submit your banking info properly and early, then your pay will potentially be delayed. So it can be tricky. Make sure you have a bank account because we do direct deposit also.
And SIN number.
Oh yeah, a SIN card or SIN number. And you need one in order to get a bank account.
Mm-hmm. I think those are all of the questions we have. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I think that's it for questions. So if anybody's still out there, thank you for listening to us on this Wednesday evening.
Mm-hmm. And if you have any final questions?
If you have any questions, send us an email. We work Monday to Friday. We don't answer the phones after 4:30. So, but if you want to phone us, our contact info is on there. So I think it's on the job ad, actually, both of our numbers, or just yours. I can't remember. But feel free to reach out, email, phone call, text message. Yeah, we will answer your questions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think there's a thank you slide. Right on. Well, thanks folks for listening. Hope you apply, and maybe we'll we'll see you this summer. Okay, well, thanks, folks. Have an awesome evening and enjoy the rest of your week.